Welcome to I Watch Movies, where I watch movies, rate them, and get your feedback. I'm Josh, and today we'll be talking about Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So, if you didn't know, I'll be reviewing all 9 episodes of Star Wars. I started last week with Episode 1, and if you missed it, don't worry, I linked it up above. But let's get back into the ugly sister that is Episode 2. And please bear with me, as this is my least favorite Star Wars movie. Star Wars Episode 2 is still directed by George Lucas and still has the same cast of Episode 1. The only difference is Liam Neeson isn't. But we do have an addition of Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. Episode 2 takes place 10 years after Episode 1 and starts with Padme, who is no longer the Queen of Naboo, but the Senate, almost being killed in an explosion. But her decoy takes the hit. Because of this, she is guarded 2 Jedi Knights, those being Obi Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. While being protected one night, Padme uses herself as bait so she can try to lure her hunter in. This works, and her hunter slips 2 insects in her room through a window by a robot. Obi-Wan, noticing this, jumps on the robot while Anakin follows up, and they begin a chase, which ends with them catching the hunter in a bar. But as soon as they go to question the hunter, she is killed by a poison dart from another hunter in the distance. Now, worried, the Jedi Council orders Obi-Wan to find the hunter, while Anakin stays with Padme to protect her in Naboo. Obi-Wan then finds the origin of the dart, which leads him to a planet named Kamino. On Kamino, Obi-Wan is greeted by the Prime Minister, Lama Su, who's informed him that the clones Master Cypher Diaz ordered are ready. Only problem is, Cypher Diaz has been dead for 10 years. Obi-Wan then asks who are the clones made from, which Lama Su replies, a man named Jango Fett. Obi-Wan requests to meet Jango, but while they are talking, Obi-Wan gets suspicious and pretends to dispatch the planet in order to spy on Jango. He soon finds out that Jango is the hunter he's been looking for, and they begin a fight. Jango escapes, but before he leaves, Obi-Wan places a tracker on Jango's ship to follow him. Back on Naboo, Anakin is getting pretty close to Padme, but he keeps having nightmares on his mother dying. Because of this, he goes to Tatooine on a hunt to look for her. But it's already too late, as she is dead due to the mistreatment the Tusken Raiders gave her. Anakin is furious now and kills the entire village, and I mean women, children, everybody. Because of this, Yoda senses the pain Anakin has gone through by using the Force, which worries Yoda a little bit because he feels Anakin's pull to the dark side. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan has caught up to Jango and finds the man he's working for, a Sith Lord named Count Dooku, who is now Darth Sidious's new apprentice, and who was also once a Jedi but switched over to the dark side. Obi-Wan sends a message to Anakin to meet him up, but then gets captured. Anakin and Padme receive the message, and while they go on the rescue, they as well get captured. All 3 of them are sent to the Colosseum, where they are strapped down and sentenced to be killed by animals. Obi-Wan, Padme, and Anakin free themselves and end up being saved by a group of Jedis who are ran by Mace Windu. From this, a battle begins. The Jedi are soon outnumbered, but before they are executed, Yoda arrives with the new clone army. While the battle continues, Dooku tries to make a break for it, but is chased down by Obi-Wan and Anakin. They catch him and duel, but Anakin becomes impatient and strikes first without Obi-Wan. Dooku, being a master duelist, takes advantage of this and cuts Anakin's arms off, defeating them both in the process. This causes Yoda to step in and fight Dooku, but Dooku is no fool. He knows that if he fights Yoda, he will lose. So, he distracts Yoda and makes an escape, which triggers a future war to come, that war being the Clone War. So, let me get into the good things about this movie. That being really hard to do, because this movie is so bad and so boring. I understand that the first episode was boring, but this episode had such bad acting that it made episode 1 look amazing. Now, I still like Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's still good in this movie and the previous movie. The only issue is that there's no Liam Neeson. So I traded Liam Neeson for Hayden Christensen, and Hayden Christensen is probably the worst actor in this movie. And there are several scenes that prove that to me. I know this is what I'm supposed to like about this movie, but it's very hard to find what I like about this movie. I can probably say maybe Mace Windu and the battle of all the Jedis, but besides that, there's not much to like about this movie. And that's unfortunate. So let me get into the mixed aspect of this movie. What I find to be very mixed is Anakin Skywalker. See, Anakin has a good story to be told. He's a strong Jedi, he's angry, and he feels as though he has surpassed his own master, causing him to be arrogant and not understanding what it is to be a true Jedi. On top of that, he's basically falling in love with a woman, which is forbidden for a Jedi. So you see him do all these inappropriate things and not acting like a true Jedi. But on the other hand, you have Hayden Christensen acting as Anakin Skywalker, which is very disappointing because he's such a bad actor. And I will not lie, he is horrible in some scenes. And you get such a good story but such a bad actor, and then when they meet in the middle, you have a mixed opinion on it. You don't know whether you like Anakin or dislike Anakin because of who's taking the role. So let's finally get into the bad. And obviously, if you've been listening to all my opinions on the good, the mix, you probably already know what the bad is. Yes, the acting in this is atrocious. You have Hayden Christensen, who is god horrible. You still have Jar Jar Binks, who I still dislike. And you practically have a cast that didn't get any better from the first episode. Usually, they try to do a little bit better in the sequels, but they didn't. I guess they got really lazy. There are other horrible things in this movie as well. The CGI didn't even get any better. It got worse probably. From episode 1 to 2, usually they tend to make stuff better, but they didn't. The CGI looks like they are literally in a green screen. They are horrible, and that's what makes this movie such a tragedy. This is why it's so low, because I see all the mistakes. It's like they didn't even try, and that's a disappointment to this franchise. It made this franchise look horrible. But guys, that's my review on Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. If I had to rate this movie, it would be a 5.5 out of 10. Yes, it's lower than Episode 1 due to the fact that it didn't get any better. It got worse. And you can see that throughout the whole film. As well as, like I said, I traded Liam Neeson for Hayden Christensen, super downgrade. But guys, be sure to like this video and comment down below what you guys like about this movie. Maybe it's just me. And be sure to subscribe, as that means a lot to my channel. And remember guys, I watch movies, so you might not have to. Thank you guys and have a nice day.